my fellow Americans, I'm going to tell you something. I did not do my duty in Vietnam. John Kerry did. But I fought here at home. And you can't see my medals, but they're there. And they're from a war, too, the drug war. I had my own sense of honor, and I was a man of principle in this war, in my way. Maybe I wasn't the guy who you could rely on to pick up a rifle and shoot at people, but I defy anyone to look into my history and come up with one witness that says I ever burned them on a coke deal. You can't, because I didn't. If you gave me $50, I came back with $50 worth of blow. None of this sampling it in the car on the way back. See, to me, that's rationalization. If you wanted to give me a little bump when I got back as a thank you, great. If not, that was cool, too. We all had our role to play. I was kind of an ambassador. If some foreign dignitary came through, he left with a good feeling about America. So I've lived by my code and my principles, as John Kerry has. And speaking of people that don't live by the code, let me say this about Kitty Kelly, in her new book. For me, there's nothing worse than somebody who'd snitch and narc on somebody else, especially to their parents. Now I got to face the old man next week and lie to his face like I'm a damn teenager. Oh, no, Daddy, that's a lie. I wasn't getting high at Camp David. She was getting high. You know, blame it on Jeb like I used to. I don't know, something, but... Dick Cheney warned Americans on Tuesday that electing John Kerry would risk another terrorist attack. Here's Cheney in action.
It's absolutely essential that 8 weeks from today, on November 2nd, we make the right choice. Because if we make the wrong choice, then the danger is that, we'll get hit again, that we'll be hit in a way that will be devastating from the standpoint of the United States, and then we'll fall back into the pre-9/11 mindset, if you will.
Well, what do you think about this? Scare tactics?
No,
or is he just telling...
no.
All right.
So what that tells you, he's a half-assed robot. So the man should keep his mouth shut because he's hurting Bush. If Bush wants to win, he's got to get rid of this guy because this guy's a Hummer. Don't mean nothing. But I got one thing to say to him. That's it.
I think it's two sides to that. I think in a way he's telling the truth because realistically, who do you think people are more afraid of? The terrorists are more afraid of?
Right.
The Heinz ketchup man or Bush, the cowboy from Texas?
Right.
So you got to look at it in that way. And it's like, it's not that people are saying that, you know, like with Bush, my thought is gone, so go ahead.
It was a good start.
I had a good thought to it, but I lost the damn thought of
Because
it.
you're paying attention to me.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm more scared that if Bush gets reelected, we're going to have to hear more of your Bush impression.
But here it is. Here it is, right? Oh, Greg, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, here it is.
I want to see you stammer through that again.
I'm not going to stammer. No, what I'm saying is, like, with Bush, the terrorists aren't afraid of Bush because he's a great president. Right. They're afraid of him because he's crazy. Right. That's why they're afraid of Bush. So if the question was asked, would you take 4 more years of Bush or another terrorist attack, I'll probably take the terrorist attack.
Really?
Well, look, they know, the bottom line is this is scummy campaigning because they know we're likely to be attacked anyway. Tommy Frank says it himself, so it's a lie. I mean, he's being a fraud, and it's scummy campaigning, and it's the lowest form of campaigning we've seen, really, I think, in our lifetime. They're really saying harsh things about each other, and I'm half waiting for John Kerry to come out and say, you know, are you going to vote for Dick Cheney? His daughter's a Is that what you want? You want a guy with a daughter as vice president of this country?
But if we're going to be attacked anyway, don't you think it's stupid for people to say, if Kerry gets elected, we're going to be attacked, and then we get attacked, then let's say, hey, what happened? I guess it'll be too late.
They'll be elected. I mean, by the way, what does he mean when he says we'll go back to our pre-9/11 way of thinking, which to the Republicans meant missile defense shield? That's all they talked about. They weren't going after terrorists.
We were, right, but I mean, we were kind of very lax on the terrorists before 9/11 as far as our country not being able to go on websites and, you know, with those...
The secret is, why don't they turn around and build cellars, for crying out loud? They keep building these big goddamn buildings. Planes can't go into cellars. Build the nothing but cellars. Build cellars. God damn it.
How long are they going to walk that for?
that point is just Italian solve everything with cement.
That's right, you're right. We want wine cellars, goddammit.
They're unbelievable. All right, look at this. Republican Senate candidate Alan Keyes has proposed that descendants of African slaves should be exempt from paying federal income tax as a form of reparation. Anyone have an opinion on that?
Yes, I have one. I have an opinion. My opinion is, and I say that with tremendous love and dignity, let the black people take over America. We'll go to Africa so the animal can see something white.
First of all, this Alan Keyes thing, Alan Keyes is an arch conservative who's always spoken out against reparations. So this is just insane what's going on here.
What is reparation?
Well, it's paying black people back for the harm that was done during slavery. And honestly, I'm coming around, and I really think that black people did suffer a lot during slavery. I think black people should be paid. I think they should be paid. I think they should be paid for what happened during slavery. But I think we should be allowed to deduct for all the damage they've done.
Hold on now. Wait, hold on.
You know what I mean? I'll give you, you don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to pay taxes, but then I get my bike back, my car radio, my Walkman.
That was our way of getting our reparations because it didn't come. Let me tell you this. White folks still believe that we have our reparations, that that racism is no more. That's what white people believe. They believe actually that because Method and Redman have a TV show, there's no more racism. And it's like, come on.
Starting racism up again. You ever see that show?
Yeah, I'd say it's horrendous.
But you know what? The slavery thing, people say, look, slavery was wrong.
Wow. Don't step out of the limb.
I think slavery was bad. But you know what? Being a slave owner was no picnic either. You know what I mean? It sucked back then. No penicillin. Slaves were expensive. Sometimes they were shiftless. You know, if you got a slave that was shiftless, there was no money back guarantee. You were stuck out a few $100.
What do you have to say about that?
This Colombian is really starting to piss me off. Slave, look.
I know that being a slave was worse than being a slave owner.
No. People, see, black folks, we first of all, Alan Keyes, we don't feel him at all.
Oh, you don't feel anybody?
No, we don't feel, because he's a Republican puppet, okay? He switches off. They didn't even want him at first. He wasn't even their first choice, but they had to get him to go against Obama, whatever the hell his name is.
Obama.
Yeah, and it's like, and only black people are going to vote for him who thinks he's related probably to Alicia Keys, because nobody fails this guy.
Well, he's pandering. He's totally pandering. I mean, he's pandering to the black. Well, of course, hey, that sounds great. Yeah, you don't have to pay income taxes because most of the voters are black. You don't have to pay income tax. He's pandering to the Latinos.
The black people.
I'll tell you why. You guys are finished. You're not even the #1 mafia anymore. You're number 6 mafia.
We'll be right back after this message. A judge in England released a man from custody who was arrested for having sex with a 12-year-old girl, he said, because the girl initiated the sex. The guy was 18 at the time they had sex. Let's see how good you guys are guessing the ages of some of these girls, women. Ready? How old do you think she is? Quick.
15.
19.
My ex-girlfriend.
13.
All right, let's see her real age. Ooh. 16.
Nice.
Well, that's
Wasn't
okay.
that weird?
That's normal. That's normal. That's not weird.
How about the next one? Ready? Maybe one will be exciting. Ready?
All right, no, she's 11.
How old is she? How old is she? What's the answer?
18.
Give us the answer. I don't want to play that.
11 years old.
She's 18. Yeah, she's old. You can see it in the eyes. She's a little older.
Oh, now you said that. You said 12 before.
I said 18.
All right, let's do the next one.
See it in her breasts.
All right, with this one.
That's a kid. That's a
a
youngster.
12-year-old.
That's a 12-year-old.
Let's see, how old is she?
13.
See that? That wasn't so hard.
Sometimes it's hard to tell people's age.
It is. I agree with you. That's very hard to
Do
tell
you think
anyone.
this guy should have been let go if the girl initiated sex?
You know what? I'm going to tell you why he should have been let go. I remember when I was 18, right? It was a 12.
Is this a rape story?
No, it's not.
All right.
Little girl, you're a little girl.
You're a liar.
Listen to me. I am a liar, but not in this case. But here's the thing. I told her, I said, go, you know.
Go away, little girl.
Go away, little girl, whatever. But she grew older, right? And she was like 18, and she was hot. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, beat it. She told me to beat it. So I'm like, damn, I should have slept with you while you were 12.
Right. She have a good memory of you.
Yeah.
I think having sex with 12-year-olds is wrong. No offense, Mitch. But I think it's wrong, and obviously people say sometimes it's hard, there's a cutoff, but these laws are obviously arbitrary. At some point you have to have a cutoff age. I'm sure there's like at least one slutty little 8-year-old out there somewhere, but there's still got to be a cutoff.
Yeah. Sometimes when they're doing their homework, it just gets you real turned on, that's all.
Okay, what about this? Here's how insane we've now gone. The October issue of Playboy features several computer-generated video game characters posing nude. So, like, these are women. This is a character. You're not supposed to see it, but this is a character nude. We're not even allowed to look at this. All right? Now, it's her nude. Now, she's not nude in a video game. It's like people believe she's real in a video game. Then they got her to pose nude for the magazine. So it's real. It's a real magazine with fake people from a real video game posing. I don't even know how to begin.
I say go back to your doll.
What are you talking about?
Go back, get a doll, blow it up, do your enchilada there, and go home.
Your enchilada.
That's what they used to do before computers.
You're right. But don't you think this is crazy?
It is crazy.
Yeah. That Playboy was...
I don't like to have sex with a cartoon character because if you on them, they smudge.
But it's not a cartoon. But don't you think there's some big, deep implication for society that it's like a real magazine, and and they're actually getting these characters that are not nude to pose nude?
Well, the tip-off is you don't have to pay fake people.
What?
You don't have to pay, they're fake. So you just say, look at this girl, look at what she got, big gazangas, small gazangas, and there ain't nobody there.
But you see that,
but they're living a lie. I demand respect.
It's video game. It's video game people. That's the thing that's sad about it. It's like they're supposed to be kid friendly. I'm not going to let my son see it. That's the only people who play it is like kids maybe 10 to 18.
That's the only ones that play it? Maybe you should go to some hip-hop video shoots and look at the trailer. Yo, break out Max Payne. All right.
What? They're not like kid games. So they're not kid cartoon characters. They're
Kids
like,
don't blame
it's not like it's like Barney and Elmo.
It's getting out of control.
And a tag team on Dora
It's
the
out of control.
No, but it's the video game.
People like that image.
It's out of control, Mike. Crying out loud, it's out of control. What do you go after that? You go back to church. That's the end of it.
What do you demand?
It's a whole thing going around. The big ties were out, then they're in again. The small ties are back in the thing. It's the same crapola. We're all going to go back to church, and that's the end of it.
All right. He demands respect. Listen, what do you think?
Right.
I just want to know what patches meant. I don't understand.
None of your business.
That society has gotten
Just
so...
pay attention and read the lips.
It means it's a trend. It means everything's a trend.
It means everything's cyclical.
It means eventually we won't be masturbating to computer-generated images.
You don't know yet.
It's only a trend.
I want to see
You're a young guy, you don't understand, and eventually we're going to go back and seek solace in God.
There you go. Or seek solace in anything, an eggplant. What the hell do I know?
All right, an eggplant. You going to let him say that?
What?
There's nothing
Eggplant?
new, is what I'm trying to say. It comes back again. Pay attention with your damn dimple.
I don't understand what he's talking about.
He doesn't like
You're
your
not
dimples.
supposed to.
Pat, this has been leading somewhere this whole time. Rape him. That's what this is leading to. All right. Well, I think we've learned something important here today,
Yes,
which
like
is you
don't
all
show
go
up.
back to church. Work, church, and home. No more video games.
Can I
No
have
more
the
12...
magazine?
No, you can't have the magazine. Because I got to go to GameStop and do a conference, and I want to make sure I have all my stuff ready, material-wise. That sounds like an excuse, but it's not. All right, folks. Let me explain something to you. We'll be right back after this message.